Carter's has your family covered for every summer first. First steps, first swim lesson, or first sleepover. Our clothes help kids and parents shine, thanks to comfy design and easy dressing details. Visit Carters.com to shop the latest styles or find a Carter's store near you.
You know, recommendations can be great. Maybe someone recommended this podcast and here you are. But home projects are different. If a podcast isn't your thing, you lose a few minutes. If you hire your cousin's neighbor to mount your TV, you might end up with a lopsided screen and wall damage. Maybe I know a guy just isn't enough for your home. That's why Thumbtack works. It matches you with top-rated local pros with photos, reviews, and credentials all in one place. For your next home project, try Thumbtack. Hire the right pro today.
Ready, set, summer. With the Honda Summer Event. With available features like all-terrain tires and off-road tuned suspension, the rugged Honda Pilot, Ridgeline, CR-V, and Passport have all you need to get summer ready with the most fuel-efficient full-line automaker in America. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Based on EPA estimate of 2024 large full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy. EPA Automotive Trends Report 2025.
You know that thing that you love? You'll find others geeking out about it on Facebook. Whether you're looking for community or inspiration, Facebook helps turn passion into action. Obsessed with running a marathon? Discover a neighborhood run club group. Start training and meet your new neighbor. Thinking about cooking more at home? Connect with meal prep groups to discover recipes in a new community. And as you're scrolling the feed, you may even find reels showing you top running shoes or the best tools for your culinary journey. This summer, find more on Facebook.
Carter's has your family covered for every summer first. First steps, first swim lesson, or first sleepover. Our clothes help kids and parents have their best summer ever, thanks to comfy design and easy dressing details. Generations of families have trusted our must-haves for babies, toddlers, and kids, designed to shine season after season. Visit Carters.com to shop the latest styles or find a Carter's store near you.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
Hello, I'm Toby.
And welcome to day 6 of 14 days of summer fear. I've got 3 spooky summery stories to share today. I'll get straight into them. Are you ready for the first story?
Yes, I am.
Stumbling on this site, my God, it's like an enormous weight has been lifted off my chest. So many years of feeling as if I was crazy, if I had imagined the entire thing. And now, so much relief. I don't know to this day what it was exactly I saw that night camping in land between the lakes in western Kentucky. And I don't even know if it applies to anything here on this site. I just know I found a place where I can perhaps share my experience of that weekend. I'm sorry to be using a throwaway, but several friends know my main account, and I've known that sidelong glance can recognise it a mile away when you open up to certain people about something you know happened but you cannot explain. It might be cowardice, but I can't bear to have one of them give me that look of, "Are you okay?" instead of, "I can't understand what you experienced, but I'm here for you." It's the main reason I no longer talk about it. Anyway, this happened a bit over 2 decades ago, as I said, at LBL. My dad hunted, mainly bow hunting, and was there regularly. And while I never was a hunter, I loved camping in the woods. We never used any formal campsite back then. We'd drive along the trace, turn off onto one of the numerous side roads, and then, near a creek bed, usually dry or just a small trickle from a spring unless it had rained. We had our usual campsite. He'd pulled the car off the road, set up the tent, tarp it all over angled, and Dad would do his thing while I would do mine. Typically, if I went with him, that meant, and this time as well, he'd trek off to his stand and would be gone most of the day. While he was off, I'd hike a bit. LBL, while big, is not a place one can easily get lost if you have basic survival skills, read or just relax. For me, it was a place to go to get away from it all, get lost in nature, or in a good sci-fi book. This time, this early morning, he had left after a quick breakfast, a chill and dampness in the air, the smell of fall coming in. Any of the outdoor types will understand that smell of wet leaves during fall. I mention this only as it will be relevant later. Anyway, Dad had left and I whittled some on the hickory staff I made before heading out for a very early morning hike. I set off in the usual direction, opposite from the road we were nearby, mostly following near the creek, but not along it directly. I had a compass if I needed, but I never did. I'd grown up in the Jackson Purchase, and it was home. I loved nature, and never felt uncomfortable out in the woods. Before long, however, cresting a small hill, I heard rustling among the trees. While the leaves were starting to fall, most were still up. Fall at its prettiest. I slowed only for a moment. I'm used to those sounds. Squirrels, typically, bounding from tree to tree. But then it got louder, heavy, unlike any sound I've heard trees make outside of them breaking under ice or age. It was hard to focus on the sound, like it was coming from all around me, but not. And every direction I turned, I saw trees in the distance shaking, as if something large just jumped from them, but saw nothing else. Then, I was probably 15, and despite years of being in the woods for many of them, I felt something I never really had before. Fear, not terror. That would come later. Actual fear. Almost as soon as it had started, the rattling, violent shaking of trees focused, not in a ring around me, to one before me, opposite of the direction of camp. And then nothing. No sound at all. Not quiet, but an absence almost. Somehow that relaxed me. I had been exposed to that stillness before, and while the violent rustling of multiple trees felt alien, this was familiar. I thought about going back, until I saw in the distance, near the last tree that shook, a slim, dark figure. I couldn't make her out. Somehow I felt it was a her, but she was up near the ridge ahead, and I felt compelled to head to her, and I did. I know that sounds crazy, and typing it down now, I still do. But then I rationalised it, as I wonder if she heard all that too. Perhaps she saw what it was. As I walked towards her, she slid away, staying just barely visible among the trees. The sky was just starting to really lighten up, that transition from dawn to morning. And slid was the right word, I feel. She moved what appeared to be normally, but the distance she seemed to cover was unnatural. I'm tall, at over 6 feet tall, but my strides covered half the distance hers did, and she seemed normal-sized. As normal-sized as a dark, featureless shape could be. I mean, I could see a head, arms, legs, what appeared to be dark, but normal clothing. I couldn't track her. Focusing on her was hard, and outside of knowing it was a her, I could tell nothing else as she disappeared and reappeared among the trees, a couple of 100 yards ahead of me, walking slowly, yet somehow covering distances at running speeds. Again, I don't know why I followed her, but I did. Down a hill, through some fog, until I neared a clearing. I lost sight of her as I neared it and things got darker, like when the sun crawls behind a dense cloud, except there were none that I could see, though the sun was still too low for me to catch. The stillness, familiar, was there, but that didn't bother me. It was the smell that did. Every step closer to the clearing, I noticed it more and more. And though I couldn't find her, and I desperately wanted to find her, it sent alarm bells through me. I've been both before and since, in the woods hundreds of times. One thing I have never experienced since that weekend was the complete absence of smell. Nature has a smell, not a stink, but one that is distinct, one of decay and life, of plants and trees and creeks and stagnant ponds. And while, depending on where you are at, you may or may not smell the same smells, they're always there. Except there was nothing. That lack slowed me, stopped me, and only then did I see her across the clearing, looking at me. I wish I could say she was giant and hairy or alien grey. She looked normal, indistinct and unmemorable, except for her smile. When she smiled, I ran. I had been scared before, with the trees, out in the middle of LBL. But that, the lack of any smell, sound, and that smile, it terrified me, and I ran. I was crying and terrified, and I had no idea why I should be. I stopped about halfway back, and everything was brighter, and despite my terror, I still wanted to turn back. I did look back, and though she was just a shape again, she was there, closer, freezing as I spotted her. A smile again, but one I felt and did not see, and I ran all the way back to the tent, and I got in and cried, shaking in terror. I did not and could not understand. I stayed in the tent until my dad got back, and I didn't tell him about it. By then the terror had faded, and while I couldn't explain it, I knew something horrible would have happened had I gone into the dark clearing that had no smells or sounds. By night, I had almost convinced myself. I had half imagined it. When, stepping away from the tent to pee, that stillness came over, and I froze. I looked among the trees but saw nothing until I saw 2 reddish lights moving in the distance. I knew the terrain, and I knew it had to be uphill from me, but the eyes were descending. I felt her, in the sense I had felt when it was a woman earlier, coming my way, and I felt a smile that was not a smile, even though I could not see it. I ran back to the tent, and my dad was there, staring into the fire, and when I yelled at him, he just sat there, not responding. I shook him, feeling those eyes behind. Even the fire had no smell. It was just nothing. I shook my dad harder, screaming at him. And then, suddenly, the fire was crackling. I could smell the smoke, and the stillness was gone. My dad asked me what the hell I was yelling about, and when I told him, he gave me that look I mentioned, that sideways glance that said, "Are you okay?" After much pressuring, we left, and while I barely held it together, as soon as I got into my room at our house, I cried. Not because I had embarrassed myself, but because of relief. I knew for a fact, had I not reached my dad, had I not shook him, that I would have wandered off in the dark, just like I would have wandered off in the morning following her. She wanted me in that clearing, which felt wrong, smelled of nothing, and I wonder and have wondered so many nights what would have happened. I probably and hopefully will never have an answer. I just pray I never see or feel her again. I've been in the woods since then, both near there and other woods, and never have I felt that way again. But still, every time the woods gets quiet, I get scared. I don't know if any of this applies to this here, but I hope some of you might understand, and thank you for letting me post here and get this off my chest. It's followed me for over 2 decades, and I don't know how the heck you can feel a smile, but that was the most terrifying experience in my life, and I had to get out. Thank you. That's pretty freaky. The bit that freaked me out was his dad not responding.
Yeah.
Like he was hypnotised. That got me. Because imagine being that scared and like the person who is meant to like back you up and give you that support, and they are gone somewhere else in their head.
Yeah, that would be quite scary.
It would. Imagine that it was me and I was just zoned completely out.
Nothing different. Nothing new.
Are you ready for the second story?
Yes, I am.
Experience in the mountains of Ireland. I, 18-year-old male, once had the scariest experience of my life in the mountains of Ireland. Technically, I'm from Northern Ireland, but I still consider it Ireland. When I was 15, I took part in the Duke of Edinburgh programme, and I went out for a weekend of hiking and camping in the rugged Mourne Mountains. I was staying at a campsite just outside Tollymore Forest Park. It was the last night of the Duke of Edinburgh, and it had been a long day of walking and hiking through terrain. We had pitched our tents a mile or so away from some bathrooms, and we decided to go and get ready to sleep. I was the last to use the bathrooms. They were old and under-maintained and had yellow lights. I was washing my hands when one of the hand dryers suddenly started. I was nowhere near it, but assumed it had been activated by a bug or something. There were a lot of flies. I finished washing my hands when the door to the bathroom started rattling. I just thought it was one of my friends telling me to hurry up. But when I opened the door, nobody was there. I could see torchlights heading back to the campsite and was really annoyed, and so I forgot about what just happened. Anyway, I was walking back towards the campsite and I suddenly got the feeling of being watched. It was like all of my hair stood up and I went cold. I was low-key freaking out, so I started running back to camp. I stopped because I heard like a whining in the nearby woods. I told myself it was just an animal and kept going. My friends were waiting for me at the gate of the campsite, so we all walked the last bit of the trail together. We immediately noticed that it looked like someone had been at our tents. Bags were open, tents unzipped, etc. We were genuinely scared. We were a bunch of 15-year-olds without phones. No way of contact, and assumed that someone was nearby. So what do? We light a campfire and toast marshmallows. Things kept getting weirder. The campfire kept dying quickly, stray flames, etc. We ignored all the warning signs. At about midnight, we finally headed to bed. We budded up because we were still a bit scared. What happened that night was the scariest of all. I got woken up at what must have been 2 a.m-ish to the sound of my friend talking from outside my tent. One thing is, my friend was sleeping beside me. I was really, really freaked out. I woke up my friend, but it was done and the voice stopped. Now, I don't know what was going on that night, It was just all so unsettling. Now, rationally, I'm thinking there was wind, dodgy facilities, and extreme fatigue from hiking. I don't know. If anyone has had similar experiences in the Mourns, let me know. Duke of Edinburgh. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, we do that over here. And we send the kids off and they do all sorts of things like hiking and preparing. And it's a bit like Scouts. But if you do it, it's meant to look really good on your CV for prospective jobs. I tried to get George to do it, but yeah, enough said. But freaky, imagine that. Your mates, you can hear your mate outside the tent, but they're actually there asleep next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't like that.
No. Are you ready for the third and final story?
Yes, I am.
This happened last summer in Minneapolis. I went out for a walk around 8 or 9. I was walking on a street with a big park on one side and a couple of baseball diamonds surrounded by forests on the other. I wasn't particularly paranoid or on high alert or anything. I stopped under a street light to light a cigarette, and for some reason, the forest across the street caught my attention. I don't really know how to explain it. Anyway, I kept walking until the forest part I was watching was right across the street from me and stopped. I was just looking at it, and all of a sudden, I heard my girlfriend's voice come from the forest saying, "Hi." Really happy-like. I knew my girlfriend was still at home, so I just did what I thought would be best and ignored it and kept walking. I was kind of creeped out. After I got a block or so away, I turned around and saw a really tall, dark silhouette stand up from behind a minivan parked down the street. I was officially scared, and I ran all the way home. I was pretty creeped out, but it kicked off a bunch of messed up stuff that started happening to me for the next several months.
In a world full of new, some things never change.
Hey!
Hi, can you say Oshkosh Bagosh?
It's easy. Osh? No, I say Osh. Oshkosh Bagosh. I don't get it. I got that! Oshkosh Bagosh!
Shop back-to-school styles at Oshkosh.com or visit a Carter's store near you.
You've got social dialed in. Search is doing its thing. So why do your marketing results look the same as 6 months ago? That's because you're fishing in the same pond as everyone else. Podcast listeners are a different audience entirely. More engaged, harder to reach through traditional channels, and ready to act when someone they trust makes a recommendation. We're Acast, and we put them right in front of you. Browse thousands of the world's leading podcasts, book host reads or run your own ads, and track every conversion in real time. Same skills you already have, brand new results. Acast. Acast.com/advertise.
I love these stories, these summer stories, woods, camping, the works. I love them. The forests, yeah. And I want to go run through the dark forest now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you not?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I could take a little stint later. You like to go up through the woods, don't you, with your dog Mickey?
Yeah.
Up onto the golf course. It's great. I love it. And then find your way back with your torch.
Yeah.
Do you ever get freaked out?
Nah, it's alright. Got Mickey, don't I?
Yeah.
You chase him off.
Mickey, and now you're doing MMA. I bet you feel tough as nails.
Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. We will catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
You've got social dialed in. Search is doing its thing. So why do your marketing results look the same as 6 months ago? That's because you're fishing in the same pond as everyone else. Podcast listeners are a different audience entirely. More engaged, harder to reach through traditional channels, and ready to act when someone they trust makes a recommendation. We're Acast, and we put them right in front of you. Browse thousands of the world's leading podcasts, book host reads or run your own ads, and track every conversion in real time. Same skills you already have, brand new results. Acast. Acast.com/advertise.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.